Hi friends, and welcome to Day 12 of Economics. Today we're going to continue talking about global trade. Last lesson, we talked about how sometimes countries need goods or services that they don't have. When this happens, they have to import those goods or services. Import means to buy goods or services from another country. Remember, when you hear import, think in. They sound really similar. Well, export is just the opposite of import. That is when countries sell their goods or services to other countries. When you hear export, think exit. So an example would be when we grow corn in the United States and sell it to Mexico. Our household goods were from 20 different countries. When I asked you on Tuesday to go find where 5 items in your house were made, you guys told me that items were made in China, the United Kingdom, America, Italy, Germany, Mexico, Malaysia, the Dominican Republic, Denmark, Canada, Japan, Nigeria, Egypt, Salvador, Ecuador, Guatemala, Colombia, Russia, Taiwan, and France. Now, most items came from China and the United States. Both of those had about 16 items come from them. That makes me think of our central question. Why do people around the world trade for goods and services? We can see just from looking in our own houses that we trade with a lot of other countries. And how does a country's resources affect what they trade? Well, people and countries around the world trade because countries can't produce everything that consumers want and need. They depend on trade with others. When you guys were showing me where your items were from, I found that a lot of the technology items, like our switches or TV, a lot of those items were from countries like China. A lot of our food was from countries in South and Central America. Those are countries like Ecuador and Guatemala, Mexico. A lot of our food came from those countries. That's because countries produce the goods and services that they're best at. So China is really, really awesome at making electronics, and countries like Mexico are really great at making car products. Think about it kind of like you and your friends. You might be really good at maybe making paper airplanes, but your friend is really good at drawing. If you want a drawing and she wants a paper airplane, you're going to trade for those. So countries trade for the goods and services that they're not the best at. A lot of times countries trade because why make something in your own country when you can get it cheaper from another country? This is actually a big reason why so many of our products come from China. It is cheaper for companies to make items in China than it is in the United States because a lot of times they don't have to pay those people as much money. Now, that leads to a whole lot of other issues, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it is why so many of our items come from China. If you noticed, the other country that a lot of our items came from was the United States. And that's because some companies are starting to make items in the United States again. They want people here to have jobs, and they say, it's okay if it's not cheaper. I want people here. I think we can do it the best. Remember, countries produce the goods and services that they are best at. An example would be this little girl right here who's shopping for clothes made in other countries. So today's assignment is going to be to go back to Google Classroom and complete the Importing and Exporting Today assignment. Let's take a look at that now. For the Importing and Exporting Today assignment, you put your name, of course, and you have one question. Why do people in countries around the world trade for goods and services? Countries trade for goods and services because. Please make sure you start off with that complete sentence. If you're typing a word in your answer like countries or trade, make sure it's spelled correctly because those words are right here in the question. And if you see a squiggly red line under your word, that means you spelled it wrong. Make sure you go back and check it. I'm looking forward to seeing your work, guys.